now we have a camera taking it. Actually, I asked Khoury, I did ask the students.
Yeah.
I asked her. So, I think that's the lady.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, we watched the conference before, but there are a lot of accusations that a lot of Egyptian movies steal ideas from American movies. Then
Like حلاوة روح, it's Malena.
This is
so
our
what
pleasure.
is the legal implications and so
Yeah, the American producer should sue the Egyptian producer, but it doesn't really happen because, you know, an American film is a lot of money, a lot, millions of dollars. And for them, the Egyptian market is not that important. It's not worth going into legal matters, but of course they can.
But it's a standard, like if they're saying you shouldn't.
You know what, the Egyptians should be more creative about having more ideas than just copying. You know,
Not to mention that, I mean, the quality of the two, but that's we have aesthetic neutrality. So we're not comparing.
The film Tirenta, did it face any problems while, because it's based on the movie The Diamond? Did it face any problems?
It is based on what movie?
The movie of,
I didn't know, but it was a good one. It was good. It was a success.
It's the same idea, but Bardo, he went through 7 phases, 7 different wishes. As the wishes itself are different.
Yeah, I don't think he had problems. I don't think he had problems, but you're right to raise these issues.
I think that because Trinity he added a lot of creation, so the copyright.
But you see, I mean, we're talking about standard copyright, and then there are a lot of people who play around with that. Yeah.
It's a more law-oriented question, but if an Egyptian movie is copied from an American movie, for example, does the American producer, do they raise a suit based on the U.S. law or the Egyptian law?
They are
American law.
بس then
أكيد. بس هنا when you do a contract, it's always according to Egyptian law when all the parties are Egyptian. You see, but when there is a party that is American and Egyptian, they especially that they are the ones doing the case.
But then in previous lectures we were discussing that in the American law you own copyright only if you add minimal creativity to your product, but then doesn't changing the names and where the movie was shot is minimal?
It's a good question. Yes, please. It's a good question.
I think because of the regulations of international treaties, you are protected because you're part of the WTO. You are protected in both countries. In principle, you'd be clever to find the place where you would get more space. So if you're looking at moral rights, for example, you're probably better off looking here because here the moral rights never go, but in the US they don't give much weight to moral rights, for example, right? So it depends on where your potential gain will be. As you say, the US requirement is minimal creativity, so it depends on the case, but in principle you are protected as long as you're part of the WTO. So it's a good thing to understand. Can I, if I may, perhaps we want to go back to
I want to go back to the director because we haven't spoken about the director.
I'd like to go through these and see the differences.
The director, as you see, he is very important. He's central character here on this map, okay? Because he's the one orchestrating all this. Actually, there's no director, there's no film, okay? So, talking about copyrights with the director, I mean, there are two schools worldwide. There's the American school, okay, where the director is a technician. Okay, you hire a director, you have a script, and the producer, like Solzans, for example, who did huge films, he hires a director to do the film. In Europe, and especially in France, the director is an author. It's not just a technician. So the director has author's rights. Okay, and there is a big issue about who's having the final cut. What is the final cut? Yeah, I say, the film is finished. This is my last edit, and I'm happy with this edit. So in the United States, the one who says this is the producer. But in France, the one who says this is the director. You see? This is a big difference. So in the European school, and especially French laws, the director has copyright. It's not just a technician. Okay? That's very, very important. In Egypt? In Egypt. Okay, Egypt. Okay, I must admit, okay, I work in a company which is called Mr. International Films, which was founded by a filmmaker director who is Yusuf Shaheen. Okay, so we have adapted the laws a little bit, which means I'm telling you about this contract with the actors. I mean, nobody does this. It's crazy. I mean, to accept to act with a contract like that, where you don't have the right to travel, you don't have the right to cut your hair, you don't have the right to do anything, you know. But we do something in between, okay? That normally here is the producer, like the States, because the producer has all the stakes and he takes all the risks.
And the rights? Does it take all the rights?
Yes, the producer has the rights. The producer is the one creating everything. I'm not talking about, you know, because we have to explain also what is a producer. I would like to know this from you. What is the producer? يلا you. بالنسبة لك, what is a producer?
Producer is someone who actually applies the text and put it into pictures and scenes.
No, this is the director. This is the director.
The person who pays for everything.
Pays for everything. Okay, I'll comment on this.
He's the one who pays for it and is responsible for assigning someone to distribute like
Okay, okay.
and he gets money.
He gets money. He pays and he gets money. What else? هناك.
Like the investor.
The investor. Okay. Let's.
I was going to say he's like the entrepreneur of like the business. It's the same idea, but with film.
You're getting closer. Yeah, you're getting close. He's taking risks.
Risk-taking.
I think he's the one who picks the script. He's the one that takes, and the actors. He's the one that chooses everything. So if the actor is a failure for the screen, so
It can change the actor because it depends on the contract. Okay,
Yeah.
the contract also with the actor. If the actor decides to do anything and it does not obey and this, the producer can cancel the contract with the actor.
takes the risk with the script and the actors. And
You're getting closer. What else?
Creator and manager.
Sorry, manager.
Creator and manager. The producer is the one who decides which script to turn into a movie and where the idea comes from
Yes,
and where
yes,
it comes
yes. You're getting closer. Yeah. Why did I want to talk about this? Because people have a very bad idea of producers here. You know, they think the producers are the ones having bags of money and distributing money here, and they are financiers. It's not true. I've learned, okay, over all those years, the producer does not necessarily have money, but the producer should find the money. Okay, it's a big difference between just having money in banks and saying, okay, yalla, take £1 million, go do your film, and trying to create the money to do this particular project. This is different thing. So we spoke about the script at the beginning, and then we spoke about the budget. So the producer is the one who's quantifying the scripts, okay, using all the elements. Okay, how much these actors are going to take, how much I'm going to pay as copyrights to the director or to the author, to the music. Another copyright is archives. Just remember this now. Archives are copyrights as well. In Egypt, I don't know how. You still pay copyrights, but it's
For the old stuff, you mean to pull from the old.
Yes,
cinema.
copyrights of مثلا television. Speech of Nasser in I don't know how many, 67. This is copyright. I'm going to use 1 minute, 2 minutes. I have to pay copyrights for that. So we're saying the producer is not. He has to find the money, and he is a creative person on the project. It's not just money, money things. He has to find creative ideas to help the director do the film the way he's imagining the film. You see? So you have the main producer, is the one in the middle. Did you get it? No. Okay, we spoke about the budget. Okay? So we're going to do a film about the history of the university here, and we decided that the budget. So to do a film about the history of the university, we have to try we take the script and we try to quantify the script. يعني quantify the script. يعني sequence 1, how much is going to cost? How many people are we getting? The students from 100 years since the university was founded, well, just the last 2 years. Are we going to talk about the Tahrir campus, or we're going to talk about this campus only? You know, this is the script. Once we have an idea how much this film is going to cost, the producer's job is to find that money. Okay, so I can go to, I can find other producers that are going to co-produce with me. I can go to television station networks and tell them, are you interested to buy a film about the university, the American University in Cairo? I can do, if I do a 90-minute version, maybe I can show it in the cinemas, and this would be a theatrical release. You see what I mean?
Yes,
so the producer's job is to find the money to do the film that we have all sat together and accounted for how much it's going to cost. But then he is the one who is signing with all the artists, the actors, for the locations, for the music. He's the one
allocating money to different.
And signing. He's the responsible. He's the responsible party. Okay? And then here, for example, in the American case, the producer, there's a producer and there is a studio, because the studio is the one who is the entity that is going to distribute the film and this and that. In our case here in Egypt, I'll go back to Mr. International Films, it's a microcosm of anything that has to do, we don't have a studio and we have a company and we have this and no, everything is done within the company. So we make the film, we distribute the film, yeah, you see, we distribute the film, we follow up the film, you do the marketing, the campaign, you see, it depends. You outsource, but you're the main responsible party.
I have a question regarding product placement here in Egypt. Do they take the money before making the movie or after, like,
it's in the contract. It's in the contract. Yeah, for example, the producer, you mean? That's in the contract. You can take an advance, and then you can take during the shoot, and then when he's going to show the movie how the product was seen in the movie. So the guy is happy enough with it, and he pays the rest of the money. So it depends on the agreements. There is no set agreement for that.
So would you say that these two functions typically in Egypt would go together? Because normally, especially also for the music industry, it's very complex, the structure in the US, and I'm sure we have that knowledge. Would you say typically they go together? Because that was my guess.
Yeah. Even the word studio, when you use it in the States, is not like when you use it here. When you use studio here, it's mostly technical. Yani sets and equipment and this. Here, studio is more distribution and it's not the same. So, but our case as MIF is quite unique because we have production and we have distribution and we have theatrical release. You see?
Okay.
So you have the director. We spoke about that. Yeah. The other question.
I have two.
Ali Sotik.
I have two questions. Can the writer of the script or the novelist negotiate to become a co-director?
Yeah, but it doesn't have. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Co-directing normally is not healthy. It's okay in certain cases, and there should be a good reason for that. For example, the two brothers who won Cannes 3 times, the Dardenne brothers, they always co-direct because they have a very healthy relationship where they complement each other. Okay, but if the co-director if the author wants to co-direct just to make sure that this guy is following whatever he's making sure that he's doing whatever he wrote or not, this is very unhealthy, and the situation will explode, from day one. Very unhealthy.
It's that when you're trying to raise funds and you go to different maybe companies, do you have to leak the script to them or?
Yeah, this is a different story. So there's a lot that has been done lately where you have to pitch your project. Okay, we go to a lot of those co-production markets. Okay, where you have to pitch the project. You have 7 minutes, 8 minutes, depending on how much time you have, and then you have facilities. You can show some if you have filmed something. You can show 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, because the people you are selling the film to should know what the film is about and how it's going to be done. you know? So it's very important.
What about the books that sell well because of the movie? I mean, the book is there a long time ago, for example. The Maze
very
Runner.
good. Yeah.
And then when the movie came out, it made the people want to buy the books
Of
more.
course, this is very
But
good.
do the books, does the author get a share of the profit that the movie made?
No, no.
But you know what, sometimes they do, you're right. but
Depends
what
on
when
the
they take
agreement.
picture, sometimes they take the picture of the movie
and
and put it
put it
on.
on the
Maybe
movie.
that takes a different agreement.
It's a different agreement.
Maybe it's
It
a different
depends.
agreement.
It depends on the
Yeah, it's a
agreement.
new
It depends on the
thing.
agreement.
They republish a
It
new
could
one.
be viewed as somehow that you owe the author, you owe the movie for selling this much books because the movie.
Well, it's still the same text. It's still a copyright author, copyright HarperCollins, copyright Penguin. You know, it's a new edition of the same text. So they dress it up differently. You know, they make the cover look like the cover of the Titanic movie, not the Titanic if there were a book. You know what I mean? The poster is very iconic, so they would put that on there.
It's probably another layer of agreements. I think that's
Yeah,
how
it's another layer of it.
But
Depends on
otherwise,
what-
it's
Everything is you have to go back to the initial agreement. Did they agree with the author that maybe if this, when they bought the copyrights, if there is a film that is going to be adapted from the book, then she will get copyright, she will get copyright. So it depends on the initial agreement. Depends on the initial agreement.
It's also a bit controversial. What if what if the book is, so some books are also copied, parts of it, from Egyptian authors. What if a movie is based on that copied book? The person who sues, does he sue the author and therefore
The film.
The film.
Well, then you can have two cases, one against the book and one against the film.
Like, yeah, it was a similar case. I do remember that Rihanna song, Don't Stop the Music.
Yeah.
Like, it was based, there was a part in the song which she took from Michael Jackson's song, I don't remember the name, but she took it from a Michael Jackson song, but he originally copied it from another song. And the author of the original song, he sued Michael Jackson, but when Rihanna's song came out, he sued them both again.
Yeah, so it depends. So you have a question?
Oh, yes. If there's a movie made for a historical event, let's say Khoury or Salai, do the producer have to copyright? If, let's say, I know there are characters like, for example, Salat, then he has to take permission from the family, but the event itself, like the war.
Interesting question. This is a point of view. It's the director's point of view. As long as the censorship approved the script,
If I
It's a
may
point of
relate
view.
this to something that we came across in the principles, that historical fact